Welcome back. This is my YouTube channel, David Feldman-Makrias, and we are entering part 4 of the most important Google Ads metrics to pay attention to in 2023. So, in the past 3 videos, we went through all the different column sections except for reach metrics, Gmail metric, ad customizer attributes, and custom columns. So what we're going to be doing now is going through those. Now, the meat and potatoes was really covered in part 2, but something I'm going to add to this video is just sort of a recap organization of the most important columns to pay attention to, and ones I think actually, you can explore further, and the ones I'm personally going to explore further moving in to the new year. So let's get into it. So we talked about change history last time. Let's go right into reach metrics. So interesting stuff. Average impression frequency per user. So let's make a headline on our doc. We have reach metrics. And what is that about? It's all about reach, right? So it's about reaching people, and usually when we're talking about reach, we're talking about a higher funnel network. Typically, it's not going to be search or intent based. It's going to be pushing a message out rather than pulling a message in. In general, I think when I think reach, I think Facebook ads and social media platforms, but this could cover display and video a lot. And even looking at some of the video or some of the metric sections, I see video only, video only, video only. So that tells me we're in the right ballpark and right vicinity. So average impression frequency per user, average impression frequency, blah, blah, is the average number of times a unique user who was shown your ad over a given time period. Okay. That's interesting. I mean, yeah, that's I think of display-based traffic for that. So what does that say though? Use this metric to better understand how frequently a person was shown your ad within a specific time period. So it's basically taking your reach and just kind of condensing it to a specific time frame. Unique users, I mean, that's pretty standard. People who saw an ad in display or video campaigns of a given period. So again, display and video networks, we hit it right on the head. Reach metrics are going to hit the higher funnel media or higher funnel networks. Average impressions frequency per user, 7 days. All right, so that's the same thing here, carried out to a 7-day time window. Average number of times unique users shown the ad and campaign. What's the difference here, though? Over a given time period. So maybe that is the actual date range that you have. And then let's see what the difference is here. For each day in your selected date range, this metric takes into account the past 7 days and shows the average frequency for those days. So for each day in your selected date range, this metric takes into account the past 7 days, but that's for each day. So let's say you're looking at 30 days worth of data. That's going to take the metric. How I understand that, okay, last 30 days, let's say that's your date range like I have up here. So if I use this metric and had 7 days, it's going to take November 27th, for instance. Well, we could start with the top end, November 28th. It's going to take that day, but it's not going to use the average impression frequency per user of that day. It's going to take the past 7 days from the 28th, and that's your average for the 28th. And it's going to do that throughout all 30 days. So it's really just an averaging problem. It's interesting. I would think that these are only really useful for not looking at very big date ranges, maybe smaller date ranges, because it's then taking an average. I mean, here's a really interesting question, right? What would be the difference between this metric looking at a date range of the last 30 days and this metric looking at yesterday? Now that's video only, but let's say you're looking at video for both situations. What would be the difference? They kind of sound like the same thing. Maybe they're equatable. I'm not sure if that's a word, but sounds good. All right, frequency distribution. 1 plus, 2 plus, 3 plus, 4 plus. Frequency distribution shows how many people saw your ads a certain number of times over a given excuse me, time period. So I guess once, twice, 3 times, that's the amount of times people saw your ad. That's pretty similar to frequency. Yeah. All right. That makes sense. Just a frequency metric. So what can we learn from the reach metric section? It is mostly geared towards video and display. Not mostly, it is geared towards video and display networks. Um, could be useful in comparing display and video campaigns. I mean, there's not a heck of a lot of things I would use that for. So it's just good to know. It's good to know that it's there. Gmail metric, Gmail forwards, Gmail saves, and Gmail clicks to websites. So this is anything within the Gmail network itself. So did an ad that you have, was it forwarded to someone else? Was it saved in Gmail? And then did your ad actually result in clicks to the website? Now, Gmail ads, that's specifically in the promotions section, however you filter promotions. Let's see, actually, Gmail email provider market share. Currently, Gmail market share is at 30%. Gmail's email client market share has fallen from 35%. So it's got around a third of the market. I personally use G Suite. I've been using it forever. It's fine. So I would assume Outlook is predominant. Let's see. Outlook. What? 4.33% of email users worldwide. Apple Mail privacy protection, 55%. I don't buy it. Wow. Top 10 most popular email clients. Apple with 58%, Gmail with 28%, Outlook with 4, Yahoo with 3. I'm surprised. I would have thought Outlook has a better representation of businesses, right? But business units, I guess it's not taking into account all users. I'm actually somewhat surprised there. I didn't realize. I mean, Gmail, yeah, Gmail's pretty common. I still have a lot of people that have Yahoo, to be honest. And then Apple. Huh. Interesting. Anyways, let's go back to what we were talking about. So that's what Gmail is. So let's go back to our doc. Gmail metrics. Simple stats for Gmail ads would be useful if using a campaign like PMax, so you can tell if this campaign is actually serving on Gmail, because that's one of the biggest action items too to take away from, right? With Performance Max, it goes across all of Google's networks: search, display, video, search partners, discovery, Gmail, probably missing some. But it's shopping, but how can you tell what's working? So that might help you evaluate PMAX's ability to tell what's working. All right, next, let's see what we got. Add customizer attributes. Okay, so I don't want to reload the page because then my blur is going to go away. I'll be right back. Okay, back. So add customizer attributes. So that's really, if you're my main experience with ad customizers is when I'm using a third party to help integrate inventory feeds or something like that into Google Ads. So, and then trying to utilize ad customizers to fill in those blanks. I don't have any specific examples in this instance. So, yeah, I mean, I don't add customizer attributes. You don't have any customizer attributes. So an ad customizer would be anything that is like updating the ad copy on the fly. So like if you had an inventory feed and let's say you were selling shoes and you had 300 pairs of Kenneth Cole shoes. So I'm just throwing out an example. If you wanted to update your ad to update with your inventory count, you can customize it where, okay, let's say in the next day you had 297 pairs of shoes, you can have it say, uh, this just in, over 295 pairs of Kenneth Cole shoes shop now. So it would automatically update based on inventory criteria. So, but that's if you're using a third party to pull information in. I think, that's like when you want to customize the actual ad. That's a little bit different from when you're pulling in data from your inventory, right? That's not like price or anything like that, but that's setting up a template where, you can set up ad copy to change on the fly based on certain inventory or product specifications. I'm not going to get too much into ad customizers right now because I don't use them very often and I don't use them on most of the accounts. So I'm going to skip that one for now, but I'll write a quick definition ad customizer attributes. I don't even know what the attributes would be in, but you have to set up your own ad customizer attributes. So basically, if you want, selling shoes, 300 pair today, 297 pair yesterday. Get your ad to update with actual copy and the inventory number automatically. That's the best way to explain it. So I'm going to leave it there. And then finally, we have custom columns. So custom columns, I do have custom columns in this account. So I set up these custom columns. You can create them, and basically you can create formulas and relationships based on what you want to do. So I actually set up a couple of these custom columns years ago, but as we've already went through in part 2 and part 1, we actually see some of this information already. So sales minus shipping minus cost, I pull out of analytics, ROI from analytics, revenue minus ads, analytics, true ROI, analytics. So like I can actually go through, had to see if my stuff would stay there. So I can actually go through and pencil this, and then I can see I can see exactly what was put in here. I could see what my formula was. I can customize the formula. I can make basic formulas. You can actually put in code now, which is interesting. So I haven't played too much with that, but that's interesting. So, I mean, it's useful, but there's so many column options. There's so many column options. So, custom columns, you know, used to create um, custom relationships that you want to see between metrics. This was more utilized before the column expansion, basically, because we didn't have all these columns a year ago. So that was more utilized then. You could still create custom relationships based on your business, whatever you want to track. So pretty cool there. So that's it, guys. That's part 4. So now finally, we're going to get to part 5. I'm going to make it a separate video, and we're going to take all of this good stuff, and we're going to basically give you the bare bones conclusion on some of the best metrics out of all the available columns we're looking to add for common applications like e-commerce and lead generation. Thank you so much. If you like this video, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment. I'll take anything, even if it's a bad comment. If it's constructive and going within that, that's okay. I mean, that's what we're here for. So, yeah, see you in the next one. Part 5 coming soon.